So how do you build something really complex? I mean, think about an autonomous car or a satellite. When the world around you just refuses to stand still, you need a blueprint for the future, right? But the thing is, the future is, by its very nature, unpredictable. This is one of the biggest challenges in modern engineering, and in this explainer, we're going to explore the solution.
You know, the great management thinker W. Edwards Deming, he absolutely nailed it with this quote. The quality of what you build comes directly from the quality of your intent. It's not just about the final product you ship. It's about the purpose, the plan, the why behind it all. And that one simple idea, well, that's the foundation for everything we're about to explore.
And this really is the central question, isn't it? If you're building something that's going to take years and hundreds of people, you obviously need a plan. But if you lock in every single tiny detail on day one, you've just slammed the door shut on innovation, on learning, and on adapting to reality. So what do you do? How do you possibly balance that need for a solid direction with the absolute necessity of being flexible?
Well, this tension, it creates what we can call the builder's dilemma. It's that classic tug-of-war, you know? The rigid plan on one side and the messy, agile reality of a world that is always changing on the other.
Okay, so you're looking at two totally different worlds here. On the one hand, you've got the traditional way. Senior engineers define every single detail up front and then just hand it off. It's super rigid and it assumes you know everything from the get-go. But then you have the lean, agile approach, and this is a game changer. It empowers the people actually doing the work to fill in the details at just the right time, using short learning cycles to adapt as they go. It's a fundamental shift from trying to predict the future to being great at adapting to it. So, that all sounds great, but how do we actually do it? The key, the elegant answer to this whole dilemma is a really powerful concept called solution intent. Think of it as the tool that's been specifically designed to solve this exact problem. Let's break that down, because it's a bit of a mouthful. The easiest way to think about solution intent is as the single source of truth for your project. But here's the crucial part. It's not some dusty document sitting on a shelf. No way. It's a living repository. It holds everything you know about what the system does right now and what you intend for it to do in the future. It's basically the collective brain of the entire project, all in one place. At its heart, solution intent exists to continuously answer these two fundamental questions. And notice how they're interconnected. They're totally intertwined. If you don't know how to build something in a way that's actually feasible, it forces you to reconsider what you're building in the first place. Solution intent is what manages that nonstop conversation between the what and the how through the entire life of the project.
And right here, this is the secret sauce. This is what makes it all click. See, it's not about documenting everything, and it's definitely not about documenting nothing. The real power comes from intelligently deciding what needs to be fixed and what should remain variable, or in other words, open to discovery.
This whole idea taps right into a core Agile principle. You don't need all the answers on day one. In fact, pretending you do is usually a recipe for disaster. The real skill is separating the knowns, the things that are truly set in stone, from the unknowns, which are all those exciting areas you leave open for your teams to explore and innovate within.
Let's make this real. For example, your fixed intent, your knowns. That could be something non-negotiable like a compliance standard, or a core spec, like a delivery drone has to carry a certain maximum weight. Those are your guardrails. But the variable intent? Oh, that's where the magic happens. That's where you empower teams to explore different designs and run simulations to find the absolute best possible solution, instead of just being told what to build.
And this isn't a permanent state. The goal is to systematically turn those unknowns into knowns. So over the course of several program increments, or PIs, teams are actively working to reduce that uncertainty. They explore options, use practices like set-based design to compare alternatives, and then, with real knowledge they've gained, they make a decision. And just like that, a variable idea becomes a new fixed part of the solution. It's a journey of discovery.
But who actually builds this thing? This is so important to get. Solution intent is not some static document an architect writes once and then forgets about. Nope, it's a living, breathing guide that the entire team builds together.
And it really is a true team effort. You've got product management bringing the vision, architects defining the technical framework, and, this is absolutely crucial, the development teams feeding their real-world, on-the-ground knowledge back into the system. Even your suppliers contribute. It's that constant collaboration that keeps the solution intent alive, accurate, and actually useful.
So what this whole system does, when you get down to it, is it replaces that old top-down plan.
Instead of a rigid blueprint that's obsolete the moment it's printed, you get a dynamic guide, and it connects the high-level vision directly to what a team is working on in their daily backlog. Everyone stays aligned because everyone is working from and contributing to the same playbook.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Whenever we talk about repositories of knowledge, this little alarm bell for comprehensive documentation starts going off, right? But look, the goal here isn't to create more paperwork. It's to create smarter, more effective documentation that actually helps people build the right thing.
So how do you do that? Well, these principles are your guide. Instead of massive text documents, use models that are easier to understand and update. Don't overspecify. Communicate the intent and let the teams figure out the details. Record things in only one place to avoid confusion. And maybe most importantly, keep it simple. The goal is to capture only what's needed to guide decisions and ensure compliance, and no more. It's about sufficiency, not volume. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question to chew on. Think about the projects you're working on right now. Where are you still relying on a rigid, upfront blueprint when what you really need is a living, collaborative map? Solution Intent gives us a powerful way to navigate the future, embracing learning and discovery as part of the plan itself.